Hello, 'tis I, Wayward Brigand, and I set the wrong scene. There we go. This is Pillars of this is Wayward Let's Play. I'm playing Pillars of Eternity. I am streaming this live on Twitch, but because there's so much small text on the screen, I'm using this scene instead of the scene that was just on because I misclicked. So if I start talking to random people who aren't there, I am crazy, but I'm not going crazier. It's probably just someone in chat. So I have Aloth. So the two of us are going to go to the inn. Let's go talk to the innkeeper.
Greetings.
Hello and welcome to the... Oh, it's you! Tinfifth said that you told us what you did for him. It's such a relief to have him back. I can't thank you enough. Consider yourself a favor of the house. Discounts on drinks, rooms. Tinfifth said he wanted to whip up something nice for you. He's already back in the kitchen. So what would you like? Let's see what they have for sale. Okay. So I'm just going to sell a bunch of the stuff that I really do not need. I think it's going to be it for now. Good. Okay. Baby's getting out the keyboard. He didn't like that I stopped him. Oh no, he is very angry. I'm sorry, buddy, but no. I'm sorry. Baby. I'm gonna go with this. Or wait. So the way I'm going to build this party, there is another fighter that I'm going to... Thank you, buddy. There is another fighter that I'm going to meet, and he's going to be the main tank, and then the main character is going to be the off tank. So focus more on engaging and dealing damage instead of absorbing damage. So I'm going with this. Allow them to hit easier. So let's go talk to the cook. Ah, it's you, my savior! He makes a sweeping gesture to indicate the kitchen around you. It's good to be back. Do not think I will let this go unrewarded. I have decided that you have earned the right to learn one of my most closely guarded secrets, my dearest recipe. After this, you will eat nothing else. A savory pie to keep you hale and hearty. May it serve you well in your travels. That one's going to be useful. Okay. So let's see. Okay, so let's go find an animancer. Could have sworn there were like tents or something. I could be thinking we're a different city. Yep, looks like I'm thinking of a different city. Well, let's just go around. We know there's more grain in there, Trumbull. We won't sell it for scraps while you grow fat for crops. A muffled shouting emerges from inside the mill. The first of you drunkards comes through that door gets a shot between your eyes. Gods hear me, Swainer. I'll put you down like a dog. Come away now, lads. But we'll be back, Trumbull. And we'll have fair prices, or by flame. We'll have a reckoning. I don't want to deal with that quite yet. Let me check something super quick. So where can I find an animancer? Well, let's go to the inn and get some rest, I guess.
Greetings.
Don't quite have the CP to waste on it quite yet. Your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed by suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in the front of Gilded Vale's gallows tree, and the creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman, whose face is shriveled inward like moldering fruit. Her head hangs limping to the side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in mind until she is inches from your face. Suddenly her head snaps up and her eyes open, but they are empty, and behind them is a vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air she speaks a word. Watcher. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face when you spoke with the magistrate. He called her an animancer. Though it fills you with new, queasy apprehension, you feel strange compulsion to see the woman once more, if only to confirm she is truly dead. The squat, distended body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin, crooked bough that sags at the tug of her noose. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head lolls forwardly, rigidly, from one side to the other while the breeze shifts. You perceive a faint glow around her that casts no light on its surroundings, but there is a tepid warmth to it, and you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it, not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. You take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out toward the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you have expanded enough to reach her, there is a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing, electric surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman. And when you open them again, she is staring at you with eyes clouded in a milky fog, her body still swaying in a wind that you no longer feel from a tree that stands planted in a misty void. The woman takes a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and she smiles at you. Have you
Have
come?
you come here for me, dear? Or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. Yes? Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing. Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Called them. Those days are all behind me, no?
I need to understand something that's happened to me. She nods, a look of pity on her face, as though consoling a child.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there.
She nods.
You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
How are you able to speak to me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
You said souls break apart over time?
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die and pick up pieces of others when we are born again, but less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success. No, no. A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think. Me? I'll bore you to tears, though. A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been made. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are. But the best of us? The best? It's a fast... Of course. What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, though. Not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair. And here we are, visiting you. Souls pass on. Some say through... A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them. No. Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties. You...
Aelaf looks at you through narrowing eyes. Are you alright? You seem just lost now. I'm a watcher. He arched eyebrows recede into his hood. Well, that's interesting. He gives you a sly grin. And I expect that explains how you survived a Bayowick, huh? In any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we're traveling together, it's probably wise for us to share these things. Let's continue on. The smell of pipe smoke, at once earthy and sweet, winds its way into your nostrils. Your eyes trace the smoke to its origin, where you find a broad man with straw-colored hair leaning against a mossy rock wall, his pipe held to his lips with one meaty hand. He looks you directly in the eye, but not aggressive. He regards you with a peculiar smirk.
17 and a half. Well, could be 18, depending on how you count the Dwarf Woman.
I'm sorry?
The Dwarf Woman. You were trying to figure out whether to count her as a full person. I think you oughta.
What are you talking about?
People hanging from the tree. 18 of them. Well, last I counted, anyway.
Is that what you people do for fun around here?
Name's Adair. Though to the people around here, might as well be 19. Don't think I'd put you much higher than 22, 23 tops. You look like the sort that likes to get involved.
What makes you think I was interested in the Dwarf Woman? He looks at you for a moment, his brow arched, his smirk broadens.
I was smoking over here, saw you staring at her. Twice I refilled my pipe. You never so much as blinked. Your mouth was so slack I took you for a Radric at first.
Impossible. I don't drill half as much. Ha! So you're already familiar. Still, you'll have to forgive my curiosity. Around here we prefer to turn a blind eye to our deed. That's him trying to climb, by the way. Baby's trying to climb a chair. I've been out of sorts lately. Of course, we all got our bad days when we stand perfectly still and stare at corpses for a while without blinking. He winks. Do you know what a watcher is?
Careful, friend. Let's not use that word round here. There'd be any number of Radric bootlickers within earshot. Ciphers, animancers, watchers. Same thing in the eyes of folks around here, Radric especially. They come through these parts all the time with their cures, preying on the desperate. None of them are who they claim to be. Of course, seeing you with that funny look, I'd be halfway inclined to believe you were having some kind of communion with that dwarf. Either case, maybe I'm not 19 after all. No offense.
None taken. Good. They don't mean it personal when they hang folks here. I have to remind myself.
Town's had it in for me for a long time now. Only fellow who ever stuck up for me, well, he's number 18 up there. My headman on the farm. Used to be my captain during the war.
Why was your headman hanged? Got involved. Raedric sent men down here the other day. Said they had it on good authority. Someone in town was working with Kolsk, plotting Raedric's overthrow. Said if he didn't come forward right then and there, they'd hang every last one of us. No one was coming forward, so Swithin, that's my headman, he steps up and says it's him. They took him at his word. He sighs and shakes his head, his eyes fixed on the tree. Bound to happen sooner or later, if not for plotting against Raedric, then for protecting me. The war? Saints' War. Only one in my lifetime. Fella decides he's the living incarnation of Aethys. Overthrows Raedricos. Raids Ceres. Marches on Deerwood. And we give him a Deerwoodian hello. What is a Deerwoodian hello? He smiles at this, but is a smile of one recounting a joke for effect rather than for enjoyment. I had other questions. Farewell.
Pick the wrong god. That's what it comes down to. Then one day, after the war, seems that's no longer.
Drinking, mostly.
Seem to remember hearing something about that years ago. A man such as that? Not sure how I feel about setting out with a stranger. All right then. Guess I'll do some sights.
Okay, so now I have all three of my party members for now. Okay. I'm gonna go with infused with vital essence. There we go.
Yeah?
Okay, I'm gonna pause for episode break there. Like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. I'll see you next time. Check out Osu Geek. It's awesome. Bye bye.